وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا
محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك
النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم
تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم
تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم
تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه
وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه
وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه وسلم
تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم
تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك
النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك
النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي
وعلى آله وصحبه
وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل
على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
عبدك ورسولك
النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه
وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي
وعلى آله وصحبه
وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي
وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل
على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل
على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل
على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم
تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى
آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقك ورضاء نفسك وزنة عرشك ومداد كلماتك. اللهم صل وسلم وشرف وكرم بقدر عظمة ذاتك العلية في كل وقت وحين أبدا عدد ما علمت وزنة ما علمت وملء ما علمت على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد صاحب التاج والمعراج والبراق والعلم ودافع البلاء والوباء والمرض والألم. جسمه معطر مطهر منور من اسمه مكتوب مرفوع موضوع على اللوح والقلم. شمس الضحى نور الهدى مصباح الظلم شفيع الثقلين محبوب عند رب المشرقين والمغربين. أبي القاسم سيدنا محمد سيد العرب والعجم. يا أيها المشتاقون لنور جماله صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم بجميع الصلوات كلها عدد ما في علم الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وموالاه في كل لحظة أبدا بكل لسان لأهل المعرفة بالله. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد نورك الساري ومددك الجاري واجمعني به في كل أطوار وعلى آله وصحبه يا نور. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد حبيب الرحمن عدد ما يكون وما قد كان. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفر الله نسألك الجنة ونعوذ بك من النار. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفر الله
نسألك الجنة ونعوذ بك من النار. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفر الله نسألك الجنة ونعوذ بك من النار. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم.
الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وإمامنا حبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين. الحمد لله. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept us and accept what we are doing and make everything we engage in a means, an accepted means to reach His rida subhanahu wa ta'ala, to reach His mahabba, to reach His closeness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make everything we do during this month and other than this month a taqwa, actions of taqwa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yazidna huda. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make anything we do, in the little things we do, as an expression of ihtida, and as an expression of accepting the invitation of being guided and acting accordingly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yazidna huda. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in guidance. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yu'tina taqwana. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us our taqwa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitate the path of taqwa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire us and give us tawfiq and give us motivation and make things easy for us. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. The merit of correct performance. You read, inshallah. It's here. I do not like knots. I mean, try to find a better way of organizing things other than knots. يلا بسم الله. أعوذ بالله من العقد كلها. بسم الله.
Section 3, merit of correct performance. Ta'deed.
تعديل.
Ta'deed. The Prophet, on him be peace, said the prescribed prayer is like a pair of scales. Whoever gives full measure will also receive in full. Yazid al-Riqashi said the prayer of God's Messenger, on him be peace, was as even as if it had been perfectly balanced. Traditions of the Prophet, on him be peace. Two members of my community may perform the prayer in such a way that their bowing and their prostration are as one, yet their prayers may be as far apart as heaven and earth, in respect to their humility, that is. God will have no regard on the day of resurrection for that servant of his who does not straighten his spine between bowing and making prostration. Is he not afraid, he who turns his face around in the prayer, that God may turn his face into that of a donkey? If someone performs his prayer at the proper time, makes his ablution correctly, does the bowing and prostration properly, and observes due humility, that prayer will rise up, all bright and shining, and will say, may God take care of you as you have taken care of me. But if someone performs his prayer at the wrong time, without correct ablution, not bowing and prostrating properly, and not observing due humility, his prayer will rise up all dark and gloomy, saying, may God neglect you as you have neglected me. Then when it has reached wherever God wishes, it will be folded up like an old rag, and he will be slapped with it in the face.
So, ta'deel, usually, in the books of fiqh, he's talking about the position. He's talking about the position of the spine and how the position of the spine should be. And we have one of these ahadith. Here, God will have no regard on the day of resurrection for the servant of his who does not straighten his spine between bowing and making prostration. The one who doesn't straighten his spine between bowing and making prostration, that means he doesn't really say, Sami Allahu liman hamidah, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, and then Allahu Akbar, he does his prostration. You find people today, if you catch a photo, it's so ridiculous. The image of the salat of the Muslimin today, there is nothing majestic in it, there is nothing beautiful in it, there is nothing that inspires anything, but that inspires really awe or something. People, they used to convert to Islam just by seeing Muslims in their attitude in the salat. They used to accept Islam, and Orientalists, when they went, and even when they went really to corrupt the land, but when they saw the Muslims and the aura of the generations and the way they were performing their salat, etc., subhanallah. Today, if you see our salat, even the CBC, they came to film us. And the cameraman, he focused on the one playing with his foot during the sujood, just moving his toes like that. And let alone, let us not talk about this guy. And let us say, what are you doing? Are you making sujood or playing with your toes? Or moving his toes like that? And you come with tight pants and your back is uncovered, and keep like pulling it every single minute, and ala kulli hal. So the whole aura, the whole khushu'ah, the whole is gone. today when they want to make to give a good photo of Muslims praying, just they give you full big numbers. That's not the beauty of it. They give big number, or the crowded masjid of Haram and they are all in white, etc. Absolutely, I mean, get any number of people dressed, put them in white together and put them in crowd, all of them they are in white clothes, they will look beautiful like that. That's not how it is. That's not the beauty of it. See, no one, for example, is accepting Islam today because he sees the crowd of Muslims in Mecca. Wow, it's in all news. And people they say, okay, wow, just big number of people. That's it, actually. So, ta'deel is this aura, is this hay'ah, is this is when your prayer is really racine, is really is weighty, is actually it has a weight, and that's the ta'deel. Ta'deel, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in anything in life, insisted to be mu'tadil, and he used to tell people, خلق فعدلك, خلقك فعدلك. Even when he sees someone wearing a shawl and the shawl is falling more to the left than the right, and he will tell him فعدلك. Or someone is wearing a pair of shoes which is impair, it's not pair. One is bigger than the other, or the left is in the right and the right is in the left. All of these things Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam disagreed with, and showed people taught them how to have ihsan in everything. In these small things, it's not about buying expensive things, but about having ihsan and have a good aura, have a good hay'ah to inspire. That inspires taqwa, that inspires khushu', that inspires hudur, etc. And you find people today prayer just before the imam. Usually I pray imam. Last night I did not pray imam, so it was good. It was ajib. It was even more painful than anything else. Just people are just ready to jump, like as if there is a pool or something in front of them. They are ready to jump. Wait until the imam finishes. Allahu Akbar, and then move. The imam is still like, and mashallah, the imam was slow, taking his time between his sujood and saying Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah, wait until he finishes Allahu Akbar. And those, you catch people, this is like this, the other is like this, the other ready to attack, or as if they have a prey or something, or a ball, or they want to catch it. Ready to? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yaltaf bina. I mean, this is when we talk, we have to see ourselves in that, and Allah yuslah fina, inshallah. Ma fasad, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala correct what is corrupted, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yuhyi fina ma mat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revive whatever has died amongst the good virtues, and wa'id alayna ma fat, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring back whatever went, whatever disappeared from the good habits and the good traditions. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. So the ta'deel, it's not only about the ahadith that are spoken. The ta'deel is a concept, and all the ahadith about the ta'deel, all the ahadith about the postures of the salat and the hay'ah of the salat are to be understood as an indication. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was teaching them the spirit of the thing, was teaching them the spirit how to be. It's the attitude, because your haraka speaks of you. You said in the khutbah that your small action are an introduction. Be careful. Your action is an introduction of you. Introduce yourself the way you want. Your action, even the smallest action, is an introduction of you. Introduce yourself how you want. And when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the description of the Khawarij, he gave very small description. One of the descriptions that he said they will put their hands like this. Because this man who was the first one amongst the Khawarij during the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Dhul Khuwaysir al-Tamimi, 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 And that's an action, which is an introduction. It introduces. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made sure to make the Sahaba learn that you cannot keep. And who are the Sahaba? Not the elders. He was talking to the children. All the ahadith, by the way, about ta'deel. All the ahadith about ta'deel, about the form and the shape, and khushu' and the salat, and yawning, and farqa'at al-asaba', cracking the what?
Your knuckles,
cracking your knuckles, and the thing of the wudu, leaving a part in the wudu unwashed, and splashing the water. All of these ahadith about how correcting the way, how to make wudu, how to make, even running to the masjid when the salat is started, etc. All of these ahadith, they were, يعني, there is no exaggeration if we say all of them, they were about children. They were addressed to children. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was talking to children, because adults were already, or how to eat, kul bi yaminik, kul mimma yalik. For example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was eating with a few children, and one of the children was on the table, and he was like, he went to the far side, and then food came on his clothes, etc. And he told him, no, Sammi Bismillah, say Bismillah, and have a small luqma, have a smaller luqma. Why big like that and fall in your mouth? And okay, and kul mimma yalik, and eat from what is in front of you, from what is closer to you. Sammi Bismillah, hakada. So all these ahadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was correcting it was fi adab al-sabyan. We can put them in the adab of sabyan, and he was teaching them a spirit of thing. He was not teaching them, oh, you have to be like that, you have to be like that. It's a spirit. It's an aura that should emanate. It's an aura that should emanate from the Muslim, from the mu'min, from the musalli, from the visitor of the masjid. يا أيها الذين آمنوا خذوا زينتكم. There is a verse in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد. It has many tafasir, but one of them, oh you, when you understand, oh you who believe, when you go to the masjid, go in gracefully. خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد. Be graceful. Be graceful. You have to look graceful. You have to walk gracefully. You have to look graceful. You have to walk graceful. Yeah, you have to walk gracefully. You have to make ruku'ah gracefully. You have to make sujood gracefully. You have to stand before your Lord gracefully. It's a grace. Not hasty. Because there is a beauty in that. And when Muslims, they used to walk gracefully on earth, and when they used to go to their masajid gracefully, and smile gracefully, and walk gracefully, and talk gracefully, just their manners was the best da'wah. So it is a spirit. So when the ahadith are not just about the spine, or it's a spirit. It's a spirit. You might find someone who is an old man, who cannot bow and who cannot even move his spine anymore. But just when you look at his face when he's praying, you understand that he's praying. His face changes. We witnessed my grandfather right before he passed away, and he for the past few days he wasn't moving. We understand that he's praying by the color of his face, by the attitude of his face. It's something else. Then we know that he was praying. It's the time of the salat, and we know that he was praying. Other than it is the time of the salat, and he would go like in ghaibuba and wake up, etc. So whenever, and we know that he is praying, farad or nafil or whatever, just the color of his, it's different, as if you turn a switch on and you turn it off. Wallahi, literally. And you see the grace, you see even these one, and there was a 7-year-old at that time, and I got it. I understood that when his eyelashes they get heavier, I understand that he was praying, and some wetness here comes, and ajib, and the lips, the form of the shape of the lips, not moving. You are, خلاص, ajib, grace. Even he's not moving, so it's not about the movement of the spine, or being correct. Or some people they make sure to make 90. To make 1 meter or 2 meters before between their two legs, so to make it's not that. Or some people they make sure to push the one who is on the right and the one who is on the left, because they want to pray like this. And some people they want like as if he's Tarzan in the jungle. I mean, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's the aura. And the whole question about qabd and sadl. I mean, if you see the people who are praying sadl, the true sadl, you see them. It's a posture of kalmayti bayna di mughassilihi, and that's why istahabbu sadl. The fuqaha of the Maliki, it's a matter of dhawq. They istahabbu sadl ala al-qabd. They preferred sadl, which is to qabd, because it is more humble. It looks more. It has more humility, it has more inkisar, it inspires more, it has that aura of more taslim in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you are making sadl, you have to make sure that your legs are closer to each other, and your whole attitude should be sadl, ready to go. And the others who preferred qabd, they preferred qabd for the same reasons, other than the ahadith, but the spirit, because they understood, they got that the spirit of the salat is to show what? To show humility. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Now, khushu' is not a humility. Khushu' is to be ready to catch. Khasha'a means, khasha'a literally in Arabic means to be ready to catch life. That's the meaning of khasha'a. Means to be ready to catch life. وترى الأرض خاشعة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبتت من كل شيء بهيج. So khushu' is readiness, is eagerness, is to be ready to take the. Now, absolutely, humility is part of it. Humility is part of it. Haya is part of it. That's why haya has the same root as hayat, as life. Ready to catch life. Haya is khashya now is part of it. Khashya ar-Rahman. Fear, that good fear, that fear of khashya, is not fear that afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala it's the awe. It's to have that awe, is to have that even fear, the good fear. I mean, fear to lose that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fearing to disappoint, etc. على كل حال. Haya. So it is part of it, humility, it is part of it. So the whole posture of the musalli should inspire that grace and humility. So we can, this is it, that's the philosophy of it. When you stand, and adults and the Sahaba with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they got it, they understood it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, since the days of Mecca, he used to just sit and admire his friend Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu doing his salat. And it increases my iman when I see Abu Bakr pray, because he was like he would melt in his salat. And so the adults, those who knew what they were doing, I mean, those who accepted Islam, they got it right away. You have Bedouins or children. You have Bedouins who are subhanallah, there is a hikmah. Naam? Yeah, they are على الفطرة, but also sometimes they come, when we say Bedouins here, they are far away, they are not, so they came and they did not get that, they did not get Islam the first time through an introduction with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the Bedouins. But as soon as they come in, as soon as they meet with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that first meeting, khalas, they're not the same anymore. Bedouins are these who learned their Islam or something, or from, so they come and they start comparing themselves to the others, etc. And one of them, he came the first time and he saw the Sahaba making the salat, and at that time, talking during the salat was not something was not something impermissible. Wallahu a'lam. Or he did not know that he shouldn't talk during the salat, because the only form of salat that they knew before that is the tawaf. The tawaf around the Kaaba. And you find people today, no, they were not clapping. No, they were saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik, and they were making dua, but it was just an echo, like many of our prayers today. It was just an echo, it was just a voice, it was just a sound. Ala kulli hal, they would come and they would talk to each other. They would talk to each other during the tawaf, because having being silent during the tawaf and it is permissible to talk. Well, it was permissible to talk during the tawaf because the tawaf takes a long time, and also to say a few things, to have nasiha, to have mashwara. So they used to يتشاور في مسائل علمية. They used, for example, Imam Shafi and Imam Ahmed, etc. When they used to make tawaf together, they would talk about some مسائل فقهية, etc. But that's not the standard. The standard is really to be. Now you find جماعة الأمر بالمنكر نهي عن المعروف. Those who are honestly, جماعة الأمر بالمنكر. If they find you so خاشع in your tawaf, they will tell you bid'ah. No, you have to talk on your cell phone and take photos and then tawaf. Why? Because there isn't a hadith telling you that the tawaf you should be like so present in it. Huh? There is no hadith telling you that you have to be like in that attitude in the tawaf. So yeah, subhanallah, and the whole spirit of the tawaf is killed because of when you follow the hadith literally, when you don't understand the spirit behind it. Yes, there is nothing telling you that during the tawaf you are not allowed to talk. And yes, the Sahaba, okay, fine. كان عمر etc. كنا على عهدي طفنا مع عمر بن الخطاب وكان يتحدث مع طيب, okay, so that was Umar, and he was not talking like what you talk, and he was maybe saying something very important, and that's the only time he got to meet his wali, his governor, and he needed to give instructions to his governor in Basra or in Kufa, etc. And that was the only moment he could, okay? But you are not Umar. Oh, Umar used to talk in the masjid. يشيش الجيوش في المسجد, okay? First of all, he was Umar and he was sending army from the masjid. When people to tell them today, you do not talk in the masjid. Before the salat, هذا standing, هذا again, and people claiming to be students of knowledge, and they never got it. عجيب. And this is halaqa here talking, these are laughing, and there is a hadith about it. There are three ahadith. They insisted that they are da'if. Okay, but the three of them, they do not make each other strong. They are three da'if, but they make each other strong. One of them is telling you, talking in the masjid will eat the hasanat like the fire will eat the wood, will consume the wood. The other hadith is telling you, will come a day, people will sit in their masajid circles, but do not sit with them, because Allah has no haja in them. Allah has nothing to do with them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has nothing to do with them, has no gaze for them, has no. Why? He said they will be sitting in their masajid circles, همهم الدنيا وحديثهم الدنيا. Their concern is about dunya, and their hadith and what they are talking about is about dunya. Now, during the time of Imam al-Ghazali, radiallahu anhu, he thought, because during his time the bid'ah of really actually talking about business inside the masjid, and actually talking and joking inside the masjid did not appear yet. Hasn't appeared yet. So what we see today, like dunya, it's actually dunya. So the way he understood the hadith, he said, These are the ulama dunya, these are the ulama sultan, because they are teaching people for a purpose of dunya, so their concern is dunya, and all what they are talking about, even if they are talking about religion, the intention behind it is dunya, and it's not, they are talking about religion for dunya, not to make people closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, if I will talk to you, all what we teach is how to do this, how to do that, and disconnected from the purpose. It's in the dunya. But has he lived to our time? I don't know what kind of book he would have ended up writing. Is it Ihya Ulum al-Din or Ihya al-Din altogether, or maybe he will just accept ta'zi and ta'azi ala al-Din or something like that. It will be something else. He would have ended. Today you enter to the masjid, these people are joking, these people are talking about chocolates, these people are talking about which coffee is better, second cup or Tim Hortons. Those people are talking about, honestly, literally, I'm not making it up. These people are talking which kebab restaurant is better in town, and these are the good. I mean, others are talking really, maybe they are preparing a deal of how to sell their marijuana, or how to sell their hashish, or honestly, how to prepare their gat jalsa during the night. The next soccer game, who won last night, and mashallah, their beards are like this, and their qamis is like, not yet, like this, and okay. These are ahadith talking about the spirit of the masjid, how to be. One of the brothers, I told him, Sidi, please, I will tell you this. هذا في ahadith about it. He said, how about Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab? He was, you want the masjid to be like a place of death, a cemetery.
That's what they say.
No, I did not tell you that the masjid would be a cemetery. No, the masajid of the Muslimin, they should be full of life and energy, and kids should be jumping on the minbar of the Imam and tearing that mushaf down, and full of life. That's the definition of life. That's the definition of life. Go to Cosmic Adventure and you'll be full of life, of jinn life there. Why are you coming to the masjid? That's the understood. That's how. No. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not make your masajid cemeteries. It means do not make your masajid empty of halaq dhikr. Because that's when the masjid becomes a cemetery. That's when your house becomes a cemetery. When you do not make dhikr in it. If the masjid is only for the 5 prayers, it is a cemetery. And wallahi, when you enter to these big, huge cemeteries, 12 billions of dollars put there just to build like minarets and domes, and wallahi, you feel like, subhanallah, and take it or leave it. Wallahi, I feel more uns and sakina in a church than these masajid. Empty of dhikr. Nothing is going on, just but the Jumu'ah collection, not even Jumu'ah khutbah. Jumu'ah collection, and amongst the Jumu'ah collection of donation, there is the program of the khutbah. It's part of the. But the purpose is really to make the collection. It's not to deliver the sermon. It's not to deliver the khutbah. And ajib. And that's it. Tarawih collection of Ramadan, because it's a festival, and that's it. Other than that, maybe once there is a dars, very short dars. And we have to make it so diluted because you shouldn't offend people. There is no halaq of dhikr, there are no people really in i'tikaf there, really who are crying during the night. That's the masjid that is a cemetery. Life, hayat al-akhirah, that's life. And wallahi, you enter to this masajid, you feel full of life. You enter to masajid that were built 1200 years ago in Tarim, or as soon as you enter, you feel something like ajib. Even if the masjid is empty, no one. Literally, it's a cemetery. And actually, they are inside cemeteries. Okay? And actually, there is a grave of the one who founded the masjid right there. Okay? And those, alhamdulillah, innovators, they made a statement, said we do not want to pray there, and they went and built their other masjid. Alhamdulillah, they left that masjid living. Wallahi, as soon as you enter to that masjid, you get filled of life. Wallahi, you feel something. You feel something. Ajib. Your salat is not the same. Your sujood is not the same. You ask the question, I asked my father, said, yeah, maybe you were making sujood in the same place. So and so made his sujood in. So and so made his sujood in. So, don't you know that every saint, every wali, every muqarrab عند Allah, when he makes a sujood, he leaves a pillar of light in that place? So when you go, you are, it's a pillar of light, or what? Tourbillon de lumière? That thing is, they call it what in the sea?
Lighthouse?
Whirlpool. Whirlpool of light. Whirlpool of light. It's not just a pillar, it's a whirlpool of light. Wallahi, when I went to the Masjid al-Qawm in Tarim the first time, I felt like really, literally the feeling that I am in a whirlpool of light. Khalas, I was taken. I'm not the same. Something happened. Something really, literally took you. A whirlpool of light. You were taken in a whirlpool of light. Ascension, and from where the tears, from where the qira'ah, the understandings of the verses. For years I'm reading the same verse and never got it with that meaning. Allahu Akbar. Heat and cold in the same time. Wallahi. You feel hot and some breeze, some nice breeze coming at the same time. Ajib. What? From where? From where? From where? It's just the corner. It's just the mihrab of al-Faqih al-Muqaddam, or the mihrab of Habib Abdullah bin Ali al-Haddad, or the mihrab, and just a whirlpool of light, literally, with no exaggeration. And they tell you, no, today, you don't want the masjid to be dead, we want it to be full of life. No, the masjid are not supposed to be cemetery. So what? We joke in them? We play in them. We bring balls and play soccer and basketball, and that's how we are bringing our masajid to life. Let us be smarter than that. A ma'bad is a ma'bad. The life of it should be the life of ibadah. The life of ibadah. And this brother told me, Umar ibn okay, Bismillah, Umar. First of all, Umar was Umar. Literally means filled. He was filled. He was Umar. Himself was so filled with iman. Okay. Number 2, you are not Umar. Number 3, you are not talking about the issues Umar was talking about. And actually, what was Umar doing? كان يجيش الجيوش. Yes, he was to bring the armies. He was to design the army leaders and the position of the.
The tactics were the army.
The tactics and everything, and the position of everyone. You are Maymana, you are Maysara, you are. Some people are in the front, some people they should be in the back, some people they should be the right wing, some people they should be the left wing, etc. He used to position the army in the masjid. Why? He didn't have another place to do it. He did, but why in the masjid? Because it was an oath. Because so when you think of deserting, you remember that you took that oath in the masjid. And why the masjid?
You're deserting. It's who you're deserting.
Why the masjid? Because these people, they have memories around. So it's not Umar who gave you the order. His member is there. He was praying there. Whenever they enter to the masjid, they see he was praying here, he was standing there, he used to sit there. In that place, he talked about the subject. In that corner, he gave us that mudakara. In that corner, he taught us about this. In that corner, he taught us about that. In that corner, one day, he was carrying Hassan. In that corner, one day, he was carrying Umayma. From that door, one day, he said something. Uhud. Covenants. Memories are covenants. Memories are covenants. Are hujjah. Good memories. And that's the difference between a believer and a disbeliever, is someone who honor the good memories and sees them as covenants, memories. The smile, the tears, the moments that you witness with your teacher or with your brothers, these are uhud, هذا covenant. You do not need to have a formal bay'ah with your teacher. One discussion that went to the heart, that's a bay'ah. You witnessed his tears, that's a bay'ah. You witnessed his laughter, that's a bay'ah. You witnessed these deep moments, and that's actually more deep than just the bay'ah. Just is it? It's just a memory. So again, because it is the same spirit, he's talking about the ta'deel and the correct performance. He's talking about the sujood and we are talking about the masjid, but it is the same. It is the spirit of the thing that we need to understand, right? So the Prophet ﷺ on him be peace said, the prescribed prayer is like a pair of scales. Whoever gives full measure will also receive in full. So it is about giving full measure. If you give your heart fully, if you give your attention fully, if you give your dedication fully, if you give your focus fully, if you give your love fully, if you direct yourself fully, it's like a scale. It's like a pair of scales. Whoever gives full measure will also receive in full. The more weight you put on this side, the more reward you'll get on the other side. Do you understand the image, the beautiful image that Taha alayhi salatu wasalam is giving us here? You understand the beautiful image that he's given us here? Is that? It's like a pair of scales. The more weight you put here, the more sil'a, the more merchandise you end up having on the other side. So he's talking about what? About weight. فأما من ثقلت موازينه. About making the scale ثقيل. About weightiness, you understand why we gave all this introduction about the aura, grace, weightiness, walking gracefully, رزن. رزانة. So فلان is رصين. We have to be رصين. The Muslim is not someone who is like, doesn't mean Rasana because you are so demotivated or you are sleepy. That's not Rasana. That's Thaqala. That's burden. No, Rasana is really to be filled inside, and that ham, the ham that you are carrying inside your heart, the ham that you are carrying inside your heart makes you act accordingly. You are carrying a heavy ham. You are a Muslim. You are carrying a heavy ham, not for yourself. You are carrying a heavy ham for the ummah. You are carrying a heavy ham for the humanity. Cannot be Muslim light. No, you can be Muslim enlightened light. But light, yes, light in yourself from your concern, from your worries about your own self. What am I getting? You know? What am I getting here? How I am feeling. Where I am at. It's always about you. It's about your dog. Barking. The dog of your nefs. No, it's not about God. It's not about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then your salat is not salat. These are the three questions that a true Muslim, a true lover, do not ask anymore. Any question that he is in the center of it, خلاص. ماذا فعل رسول الله? What about Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم? It's not about now. ماذا فعل? خلاص. It's not about what am I getting. or how am I am feeling. No, no, it's about the hem of the ummah, the hem. The hem of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the concern, the prophetic concern should overwhelm and overweight? Over. Outweigh. نعم.
Tilting the balance.
And tilting the balance. So versus your egotistical concern. Okay, until your egotistical concern disappears. And that's the meaning, to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than your nafs. And that's the meaning. And he said, لَيْسَ بَعْدِ يَا عُمَرْ. Until you love me more than your nafs. It means what? It means the prophetic concern comes number one. It's not about you. It's not what are you getting, how much are you getting. No. Or where are you at, even in the spiritual path. The murid in the spiritual path, in the beginning he comes, especially in the modern time, they come with the utilitarian paradigm. What am I going to get now? How I am going to how much I'm going to milk? How much milk I'm going to get from that teacher? And I want it in the shortest time, with the less effort and the less difficulty and the less sacrifice, and get the maximum I can get. Okay, I want to get his grammar. I want to get his efficiency. Utilitarian. I want to get his grammar. I want to get his qawa'at tajweed. I want to get his knowledge. I want to get, and after that, alhamdulillah, we milk him like a goat. And in the beginning they come like that, but slowly, they won't be considered to be murids until they are not concerned about themselves anymore. خلاص, until really the love enters, and قال قائلهم والله لقد نبتت في القلب منكم محبة كما نبتت في الكف تلك الأصابع. In my heart has grown your love, like my fingers your love in my heart are like my fingers in my hand. That means they are ground, they are attached. You see the fingers, where they go? Okay, can you tell me who studied biology? What is it? Move it. What do you see here? Move this one. It's here. It's all the way here. So it's not. It's rooted to the heart, to the depth of the depth. So it's about love, and it's not about how am I feeling. It's about how my teacher is feeling. It's not about how what am I getting. It's about how the da'wah is going and growing. It's not how about where I am at. There is no question where I am at. Where we are at. Khalas, we are fulfilled since we are there. And those people, they actually are the shakirin, and these people, they actually get more and more and more and keep increasing. The less you worry about what you are getting, the more you will be getting. The more you worry about what you are getting, the less you will be getting. And the less barakah you will be getting in what you get. So, it's a full scale. It's a pair of scales, he says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the more weightiness you put, the more rasana you put there, the more reward you will get on the other side. Now, Yazid al-Riqashi said, the prayer of God's Messenger, on him be peace, was even as if it had been perfectly balanced. And here he's talking about the outward and the inward. He's talking about the salat, the shape of the salat, and also he's talking about his presence in the salat. It was even as if it had been perfectly balanced. The beauty of the balance. And he says, alayhi salatu wasalam, 2 members of my community may perform the prayer in such a way that their bowing and their prostration are as one. So the outward is the same. They are both like 90 degrees ruku'ah, 45 degrees prostration. They are both like, but he says, yet their prayers may be as far apart as heaven and earth in respect of their khushu'ah, translated to humility, in respect of their khushu'ah, that is. And we said that khushu'ah is this readiness to receive the gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during the salat, is this readiness and eagerness to connect, and the humility is part of it, absolutely. The humility is part of it, absolutely. God will have no regard on the day of resurrection for that servant of his who does not straighten his spine between bowing and making prostration. Again, out of neglectfulness, out of disrespect, out of hastiness. And this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was teaching a young boy with it. And look how he was teaching a young boy. In what language? لا ينظر إليهم. God will not gaze. God will not look at. God will be not looking at someone the day of resurrection who doesn't do so and so, or who doesn't do so and so. Look at the philosophy of the tarbiyah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is a prerequisite to understand that language, because people today, you look at them or you do not look at them, they don't care. They don't understand that language. And the murid will only be accepted to be murid, student of knowledge, until he understands the gaze and the value of the gaze, and the value of the smile, and the value of what it means, jamal, and how to react to it, and what does jalal mean, and how to react to it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to يؤدب أصحابه بالنظر. So these mukhallafin, these people who did that mistake, all what he did is just not looking at them. Said, I would come to his right, he would turn like this. I would come to his left, he would turn like this. For 40 days. And they did not say, well, why, that's so rude, that's so harsh, that's so... Huh? ضاقت, or what did I do, or no. It's not about what did I do. It's about I missed that gaze. I want to see his face shining and pleasant with me. That's it. That's all what I'm looking for. ضاقت عليهم الأرض ما رحبت وضاقت عليهم أنفسهم. And these are people who were raised with the gaze. Children, the best tarbiyah of children when you raise them with your gaze, and they understand the gaze of affirmation and confirmation, and so they keep working for that gaze. By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I know children who only work for a gaze, and when they do not get that gaze, they are looking for that nadra, because children usually they look for attention. But what kind of attention? There is the healthy attention and there is the unhealthy attention. There is the healthy attention that is actually making them grow, that is actually increasing them, that is actually nurturing them. That's the healthy attention, the healthy gaze. And there is the unhealthy attention, which is just to applaud them, hey, and just to make them like clowns, jumping, hey, you're cute, hey, you're smart, or look at your phone, look at your pants, look at your hair. And even men today, they talk like, I mean, women, they did not used to talk like that. I mean, if you see a Moroccan or Algerian woman, 8-year-old woman, the men of today, they're not like her. in her rasana, in her adab, in her dignity, in her grace. Today you find men, look at that, incredible, cute, cool. Can you man up? Honestly, really. This is ta'deel. This is salat. This is ta'deel. This is not a bracket or I'm opening. This is the heart of the subject. Because you cannot be someone who is like that outside of the salat and all of a sudden you come to the salat and now you have khushu'ah. You can't. Whether you have presence outside of the salat and so it increases inside of the salat, or you do not have that language at all. You do not know how to understand it. The gaze. The gaze and the smile. If you want a healthy education of the children, have them value these small things. And wallahi, they will not buy them a toy. No. Just have them make them appreciate the touch when you touch them from their hand. When you bring them next to you, but full. If you are full, if the touch is full, they will be addicted to it. They'll be addicted to it. As soon as you leave your hand, she wants to touch it again, because it's a full touch. It's not just any touch. Sorry? It's a full touch. Not only half of it's a full touch coming from the heart with intention. Khalas. That gaze, that smile, if it is coming from the heart with intention, Allahu Akbar, it becomes people, khalas. So they used to raise, alayhi salatu wasalam, he used to raise his children with the gaze, with the nadar. And then because in the imagery, we are encouraged to imagine God, not God as an entity, not a aqidah thing. Tomorrow we'll start the aqidah. Not to imagine God as a aqidah. Astaghfirullah, you cannot imagine God in aqidah, but in the science of ihsan, we are encouraged to imagine our dealing with God, our relation with God, and to have images of that, like our relationship with the beloved ones. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith, he says, "Istahyu min Allah kama tastahiyuna min al-rajul al-muwaqqar." Have haya, have a presence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like the presence that you have when an old man comes in your circle. This language they used to understand because they had the prerequisite. Because people in the Jahiliyyah, Abraha, the enemy, the king of Abyssinia, coming to destroy the Kaaba, when he saw Abdul Muttalib, he couldn't talk to him, and he is sitting, and Abdul Muttalib is down. He came to him. It's natural. It's something in there, it used to be in their education. It used to be in their education. And for these people who understand how to be with old men, how to be with their shuyukh, how to be with their teachers, how to pay heed and pay respect to these people, how to honor these people, the language was so easy, the transition for them was so easy. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them, okay, well, and he was teaching children again, told them, if you want to, how to respect, how to honor Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the way you honor the old man and the old alim in your لا تحتاج إلى تلك النظرة لغو ما لها من لزوم أيوة الحمد لله. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to teach the children with nadar, bin nadar. So they used to understand the nadar, and they used to really just chasing, wanting to see him looking at them. That's it. It's not looking at them and hey kid, no, just that look. Sometimes with no smile in it, just a look. And they will get filled with that nadra. They will get filled with that nadra. They will understand what it is. And you will find in that, nadara ilayya Rasulullah. He has gazed, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and gazed at me, and looked at me. And I saw, and I was in the khutbah, the 7-year-old boy. I was in the khutbah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was making khutbah, and I was just moving my head like this. هل ينظر إليه? Would he look at me? Until he did. And then I got so filled. هذا الناس. So for these people, they understand the language ينظر إليهم الله ولا لا ينظر إليهم الله. So these people who understand the value of nazar to begin with, the language of nazar to begin with, these people, they understand what does it mean Allah ينظر إليهم أو Allah لا ينظر إليهم. Can you check if that camera is not cutting the whole head or part of it? So these people, they understand. What does it mean, nazar? Those people, they understand. And the nazar of the ulama, it goes even, wallahi, when I was watching the YouTube of Habib Umar, many times I feel like he is actually gazing at me through the YouTube. And they taught us how to look at the camera or to the camera with the intention to have that gaze go and travel to specific people who would be ready on the other side with their eagerness to receive. And do you hear? Some people in France, and one person in England, and some people, they understand that language much more than anyone who is present here. And they understand that value. It's about a scale, it's about a balance. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So for these people, they understand the language, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaching this boy, after raising him, what is the importance of being gazed at? Gazed at? Or looked to? Gazed upon and looked to. When they understood that, I told them, be careful, the day of judgment, Allah won't. He won't look at you. How could they understand that if they were not trained by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam looking at them or not looking at them? The importance of it. So he trained them already. That's it. He wouldn't say anything and he wouldn't look at him. Until they will come. Until they will do their kaffara. Until they will do their kaffara. And they understand it. And they go through the journey of maturity. And they understand, and they correct their mistake. And then yubdullahu sayyatihim hasanat. And then they come. And the difference between people who understand this language and the people who do not understand this language is like between heaven and earth. Wallahi, between heaven and earth. The last Ramadan we went to Tarim. It was 3 years ago. ولا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I felt in my heart that I have to go. I felt called and I have to go. خلاص, and we went. And when I was entering the masjid, Dar Mustafa is so big. So between the back door and the mihrab is like between here and the end of the courtyard there. So it's we're talking about. And as soon as I entered from the door, I remembered the masjid was full. The masjid was full. And I had in my heart something. I went just for the gaze. That's it. Wallahi, as soon as I put my leg in, I couldn't believe it. It was so real and in the same time so surreal. And that's it. Habib Umar stood up and looked at me and smiled like that. And I felt the feeling that افعل ما شئت. Now do whatever you want. Alhamdulillah. خلاص. خلاص. I felt like that's it. It's not like, oh, I'm so great or I am that important or... It's not about that. It's not about that. And that language. And I felt so humbled and so happy after that now I understand that language. To live for نظرة الرضا. To live for نظرة الرضا. To live for the gaze of satisfaction. That's life. That's life. That's life. That's the true life. To live for that gaze. هؤلاء ينظر إليهم الله يوم القيامة يزكيهم. And the others لا ينظر إليهم ولا يزكيهم. He won't look at them. He won't gaze upon them. Allahu Akbar. So he trained them, alayhi salatu wasalam. So they were trained to understand that language. And it was the culture already there. And when he wanted to, I won't say punish, when he wanted to boil the oil of Iman inside the heart of these mukhallafeen, of these three companions who were sincere. They were sincere, but they did not have enough heat to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the heat. They were sincere, but their sincerity was a bit cold. They did not have enough heat inside to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even during the heat, even during the hot days. Okay, we'll heat you up. We'll heat you up. We'll burn your hearts. Your love is cold, we'll burn your hearts with love until your love reach the boiling point. Reaches the temperature that needs to be reached, because there is cold love and there is hot love. He boiled them with what? Just not gazing at them. The effect of that, قَدْ ضَاقَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ الْأَرْضُ بِمَا رَحُبَتْ. The whole earth became so narrow in their eyes. وضاقت عليهم أنفسهم. ضاقت عليهم أنفسهم. Even they cannot or carry themselves anymore. ضاقت عليهم أنفسهم. They were feeling that they were too narrow for them. Oh, خلاص. وظنوا أن لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. Then تاب عليهم الله وتاب. And خلاص, and they got that they cannot run from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except to Him. The verse is not, the context is not talking about Allah, it's talking about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You understand the meaning. وظنوا أن لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. It means what? I mean, in the context, this is talking about one of them. He was a big poet, Sayyidina Ka'b bin Malik. He was a big poet and he used to be friends, acquaintance and good friend of the king of Arabia, Al-Harith al-Ghassani. And as soon as he heard what happened, he sent him a letter and he told him, سمعنا أن صاحبك قلاك. We heard that your friend has forsaken you. Come to us and we'll take you from there. And this is for you before leaving and before writing anything. Gold, etc. And your horses are waiting for you, and 100 camels are waiting for you at the borders of Medina. Just come, take whatever you are taking, and come and Allahu Akbar. ظن أن لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. He got the message that he cannot run from Allah except to Allah. But in the context, he cannot run from Rasulullah except to Rasulullah. تفضلوا. He cannot run from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam except to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself. That's the context. Because they were not having, oh, I can follow Allah without Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's the same. And that's what bay'ah means. When you make bay'ah, that's it. This is my path. It's one. It's not at some point if I find it too hard or I find it too hot, or I can drop it here and I can go and choose somewhere else. What gets broken with your shaykh, all the shuyukh of the world together, they cannot mend. Because it's not about physical, it's about what we call the motherhood. So ظنوا أن لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. These are people who understood the language of the gaze, the language of another. These are not some people who, khalas, okay, he's not gazing at us, okay, tomorrow he will be okay. And they spend their night in the lotus laughing and partying. These are people who understand. Okay. And that's the language of another. So these are people who are ready to understand this hadith. But people who are not like this, oh, Allah has eyes. Okay, thank you for telling me. How many? 3 or 4 or 1 or 2? Huh? So these ahadith are for lovers. God will have no regard, doesn't mean no regard, no, won't gaze upon. God won't gaze upon on the day of resurrection that servant of His or that seeker of His who does not straighten his spine between bowing and making prostration. Right away, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar, it was to him the hadith, and he was a child, a kid, right away, khalas. His salat, why? Because I am praying, right? Or, no, it's not about I am praying, right? Or my prayer is excellent. For the gaze. For the gaze. These are people who understood the language of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us light and increase us in light, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. الفاتحة.